Hello, everybody. Hi. I hope everyone's good. Hope you guys had a good day. It was Monday today, the 20. The 6th. Here I'm skipping days. The 6th of May, 2024. In South Africa, it's election season. I don't know about other countries. I think it's also election season around other countries. Well, I know in America it is because there's a lot of scandals happening. Apparently, Joe Biden is mentally deteriorating, and he keeps on talking about his son who passed away, but he talks about him as if the child is still alive, which is very weird. Another thing about Joe Biden is there's this conspiracy theory that they're saying Uguti he's not the real Joe Biden. They're saying that yeah, but America call it drama. You see the things you see in movies, in American movie, it's real. It's real. The same way we South Africans relate to the drama in South African soapies, South African movies. They say, yeah, boy, number. We can relate to that in South Africa because I mean, what? Cash in transit heists, those gangs where people want money, people surviving on the thug life for money. They try to do the right thing, but because life is difficult, responsibilities are getting, you have to make means. So to the same way we relate to the problems and the drama we see in South African content is the same way that Americans relate to the drama and everything that we see in American content. Because it's only in American movies where you'll find someone has a clone, or even if it's not a clone, but they have content, they have movies, maybe series as well, that are shaped around the possibility of changing your appearance to look like someone else. For example, White Chicks, the movie where it's about the I don't know what the what's this thing? The plot, the theme, not the theme, the whatever it is, the description. You see when you go DSTV when you want to know what the movie's about, the bio. It's not the bio, but the description of the movie got DSTV, that thing that explains that thing. So I don't know what White Chicks is about according to that thing, but it's what you see is that there are these two white chicks, and then because I don't know why they have to disappear from the public eye. I don't know what happened, but then these two um black people, black men for that matter of fact, these two black men, it's two things. Number one, these two black men changed their physical appearance to look similar to the white chicks that they're replacing. Number two, it's men who are dressing up as women. And in America, it's very dominant, this thing of, it's not transgender, drag queens, the thing of drag, because that's a drag queen concept. I think it developed from there, then it grows into transgender and all those things. But I think the drag queen concept is there, where a man will dress flamboyantly, very extremely, like a woman, abo, and parade that, of course. Which I think in White Chicks, it's happening the same way, just in a more subtle way. The dressing is not as dramatic and extravagant, but you see that it's men dressing as women, and then they're parading, not obviously like a parade, but they're showcasing them as women throughout the entire movie. So those two concepts, with the concept of them changing their appearance, apparently Joe Biden is not the real Joe Biden. Um, he is not the real one. I don't know what happened to the real one. Don't ask me. Nam just reported speech, but hey, it's not me. But hey, Aksu Joe Biden wangempel. They were making comparisons with key features. So there are key features that identify a human being. With even if you can make yourself look like me, like how my earlobes are, That's a distinct thing for me only. I don't know what else as well. But yeah. So they were comparing Joe Biden wa I don't know from which year to which year to the Joe Biden from which year to which year. But the current Joe Biden is the fake one, because comparing the current Joe Biden to the old one, there's very drastic differences. Yeah. Then they also say that the old Joe Biden, when he spoke, gave press releases, or spoke to the public, he made sense. He spoke things that show why he is in politics. And yeah. But then this one, he drifts away in the midst of speeches. He talks about his son, his supposed son, who has passed away. He talks about the son as if he is alive. And this person is being trusted to make policies, to approve, to disapprove policies. Uzawa one day, I think he fell. I'm not laughing. I don't think he didn't fall, he tripped. I think he fell. I'm not laughing. I think he fell this one time. Yo, no, man. I think this political problem thing is all around the world. Because not like South Africa, our own current presidents have their own challenges as well. You know, it's very weird. I saw this other video, like I said, of Ramaphosa talking to this other young lady. I think she studied marketing or something in one of his campaigns. So we are able to know currently I'm job hunting and all these, but I'm a graduate in this, that. And then Mr. President, a whole Mr. President is like, no, continue looking. Continue looking. That's all told him savings. It's like, dude, you're the best plug there is. You're the best voucher there is in the world. Like if he had said in that video, whoever's in marketing, please headhunt this lady. That's a vouch right there. Like she could have potentially been receiving, you know, offers, people coming to her and be like, oh, we heard the president said you need this, let's give it to you. It's the president, of course. I mean, but no, the whole himself. It's like, no, keep looking, keep looking. It's like, we also have our own flops as a country. But anyways, into today's discussion, ladies and gentlemen. Today's prompt was, do you think you had a better childhood without cell phones, Facebook, or tablets than all these teens have today? All right. Um, you could say it's a pretty simple question. It's like, yeah, obvious. We had a better childhood. Yeah, obvious, but what is the difference? How is access to social media, how is access to technological devices affecting the childhood phases, the teenage phases of people? And also, how did the inaccess, is that a word? Inaccessibility. All right. And how it did the childhood of people who did not have access to these technological devices, Facebook, cell phones, tablets, and all those things. Why was how was their childhood impacted? Because then we could say, now the children in this day and age are socially connected. What do they call this thing? They exist in the global community. But we can't say that for children who existed back then, or for people who were children back then, when we did not have access to these things very easily. You could say that globally, that generation was not existing as a global community. There was isolation globally, with each country for itself, each childhood and teenage life for themselves within the physical space that you were in. The cyberspace was a very inaccessible one. So, how did that affect us? Was it in a bad way? Was it in a good way? I think it's, as much as it's a simple question, it does need breaking down to give different perspectives where we can clearly see which is better, because we're comparing. Okay, so we need to see which is better. I got some responses. Got some responses from the people. Thank you so much. I appreciate your responses, appreciate your participation. You know, it's one thing to just look at a person's status and have your comment, even if it's not a prompt like this one, even if it's just a funny video or whatever, but have your comment, have your joke, or have the thing that you laugh at, and just keep it to yourself, which is not a bad thing. But it's also another thing to have that comment or have that thing that you laugh at and share it with the person who shared that status. You know, that's another level of interaction. That even in the midst of this cyber community, we do not lose the human element of interaction. We're not letting the screens separate us. That yes, the screens connect us, but we're not hiding behind them. We can still, because if someone were to tell you a joke in your face, you won't laugh in your mind and just have a straight face, go on, and ignore, not ignore, but acknowledge that you've heard by being present, but not actually comment. In person, you wouldn't. Chances of you doing that are very slim, because it's like that's an awkward situation. I think you have to be mentally unstable for someone to be speaking to you, whether it's a joke or whether it's a serious thing or whether it's just a conversation, Jay, and you just have a straight face. You're hearing them, but you just say nothing. I think mentally, there are things that need to be rewired if that's the case. So, yes, I appreciate your interactions, guys. I love them a lot. And I love sharing your interactions with other people, so that other people can also know different perspectives, different frames of reference. So we have a comment from Umbali who said childhood was a fantasy without technology. The level of creativity and intelligence was unmatched back then. Sadly, times have changed. Indeed, they have changed. They have. That's why we have this prompt right here. It's now teenagers, hey, teens these days, even before people even get to being a teenager, primary school children these days, and crash have very easy access to technological devices. And so I think based on the comment Jagambali, the creativity and intelligence of people is not questioned. It still exists. It still exists, but I don't think it's pure anymore. It's not coming from our minds. It's influenced by someone else's thought. So as much as children these days, we could say they're brilliant, they're very fast at grasping things and all of those things, and understanding technology and all of those, it's not their thinking. It's very much influenced by the very things that they've been seeing and consuming, which have no human element to it. Then my granny commented and said, Neridlala strong run. Neridlala bati, dibeke, skipping, diketo, basketball with the benya doti. I can imagine that. Okay, basketball nge benya doti. Oh, actually, that was the hoop, but on the ground. You see, innovation. Muti, you are solution oriented. You wanna play basketball, but you don't have a hoop. What you gonna do? Cause you need to score. You get a dustbin. The ball goes inside. If the ball is inside, we don't see it outside. You know that you have scored. But now imagine if we didn't have a hoop. We'll just throw a circle on the floor. No one's close to that circle all the time. You can throw the ball and then it hits the air and then it just hits the ground. I can say score at any point because I mean, where's the hoop? But you see, they were innovative. They created a hoop through a bin, dustbin. What about? She continued to say that, and in her time, or in my time, the street was safe for Daling. The streets were very safe back then. The streets were. Do you think technology has also, not only technology, but the advancement? Okay, I think I'm saying the same thing. So, do you think the advancement of technology influenced the streets to not be safe anymore? I don't know. It depends. Maybe there are more pedophiles now because the internet is just there. But there's also other things like witchcraft. I don't think witchcraft is influenced by the internet. I get that people steal bodies, steal people for body parts, and that's witchcraft. I don't think it's influenced by the internet. Maybe it's influenced by TikTok. I'm joking. I am joking. Close. We also have Ashla who commented and said back then the innocence was okay. She sent a voice note, so I will try read it in the way that she said it. Nyadlal. But I'll just read. I tried to like transcribe the things that she said, but yeah, she said back then the innocence was real. The innocence was real innocence. The kids were just so innocent. We were just playing estradeni, sidlala. We would play house, we'd play all those things. You really just enjoyed your childhood and got to play and really experience being a child and being outside. These days, most kids are stuck on their phones, busy with little things, playing games and whatnot. And somehow, somewhere, that exposes you to things that you're not supposed to be exposed to at such a young age. And then she also said, I know times are evolving and whatnot, but the cycle of life does not change, and that's why we need to experience every stage as a human being. And I think that was profound. I think that was profound that the big elephant in the room there is that in the midst of the difference between how children back then grew up and how children back now are growing up, is that times are different. That things, the way things were done back then, is not the way things will be done now. That's the big elephant in the room. And I think she addressed it when she said, however, that does not change the cycle of life. It doesn't change the fact that we still need to pass the very same stages. Times have changed, but a baby is still a baby when they are born. They still start at 0, then go to 1, then go to 2. They still start from crash to pre-primary. Pre-primary is crash, ne? They go to primary, they go to high school, they go to university, they go to jobs. Okay, that one is not that straight. You graduate and then you're still looking for a job. So the job part, yeah, but there's a cycle in life. There's things that still need to be experienced according to that order. Which in this case, the elephant in the room, the fact that this digital age now that we're in, it's changed it. It's compromising the cycle of life. It's compromising the stages that as human beings we need to go through. And then now that's why we can find adults that throw child tantrums, adults that are not fully mature because they missed stages, they missed points where they had to learn specific things. Yeah, and then our final comment is from Zwange when she said yes, and that's a hill I'm willing to die on. Boredom got us thinking of creative ideas. We even made up games. That's another profound thing. I think that there's a lot of innovation that happened. Um, Innovation is born when there is a problem. Innovation is born in the midst of people looking for solution. Innovation is the solution. Now, the children these days have everything. They have everything at the tip of their fingers. They literally have everything. So there really is a problem. Like, how do I, if they don't know how to make pancakes for themselves, instead of experimenting it for themselves, it's easier to just go source your YouTube video or just the recipe on Google and then you follow the instructions. No invention whatsoever, no innovation, no thinking about it whatsoever, no stimulating your brain cells, to just figure out, okay, pancakes are like bread. Bread has flour, so I need flour. But pancakes are more sweet than bread, so maybe I need more sugar. And pancakes can smell nice, they can smell like vanilla. Vanilla isn't. You see, things like that. What do you think? Not break, but you use your brain to pick apart things and make it make sense. So I think it's a very important thing that she's saying. And because now children have everything that they need, innovation, the rate or the possibility of innovation is decreasing very fast. It's decreasing very fast. It's like we're reaching the climax, we're reaching the top of the mountain of, I missed a call. We're reaching the top of a mountain of humans' abilities, because now we're not relying on ourselves. We're giving over our ability, and that's a big problem. So that's it for today. Thank you for joining in. Thank you for listening to me go on and on and on. Yes, you guys are patient. We are patient, Shem. Congrats to you. Kudos to you. Bye, guys.